Once again, there are too many decisions. Help me decide. Hey guys, welcome back to Frances Quilts. Today I'm working on the quilting for this fun little piece right here. You can see I have gotten started. I have done the dream catcher here and done some of the background. The reason I'm doing the background first is because I can't decide what I want to put right here. I know that there are going to be feathers coming down from the dream catcher. I had originally drawn several on here, but then I realized that they weren't centered. So the main flower, or the main feather, needs to come directly under there, and it was over a little bit, so it just didn't look good. So I had to get rid of all of those lines, and now I'm in a dilemma about what do I do next. I started out with the feathers that were in the original design, but then I saw this one on Facebook, and I thought, wonder if I could get a little bit fancier with these feathers. Could I do them, at least one of them, a little bit fancier? So that's where I am right now. So join me at the machine as I quilt through this one fancy feather just to decide if I like it or not. As I'm starting out here, I just echoed down the stem of the feather, and now I'm working my way around the feather, just outlining all of the little individual featherettes. There's no reason for you to watch all of that, so let's just skip on over now to where I have finished with the feather. The first design that I decided to try were pebbles. Why I picked a big area to do pebbles in, I'm not sure. They're always a little bit painful to do, but I just wanted to see what they would look like. Never do pebbles in a big area. I mean, even this area is too big for them as far as I'm concerned. Those look okay. So in the next section, I decided to do an arrow type design like I had done in the dream catcher. I'm just going up 1/4 of an inch or so up that center stem, and then just veering off to one side and back, and then to the other side and back. So I'm doing a lot of overstitching here. Obviously faster than pebbles. Coming down to the next one, I decided just to keep this little skinny one simple, so I just did a couple of straight lines in there. And then this one ended up being very similar to the arrow design that I had done, except I was just using arcs there instead of straight lines. Again, I'm just trying to come up with ideas for each one of the individual feather parts. Normally I'm not very good at swirls, but I found working small like this, they actually looked okay. I was pretty pleased with them. Ta-da! Now for the next one, I split it into 2 different parts and just tried just some little loops in there in half of it. And then in the other side of that feather, I did a very small wishbone. These feathers are getting a lot smaller, so I'm trying to figure out what to do. So this one I just did just some one big swirl with some lines going around it. Time to come back down the other side. Kind of did it in a weird direction, so I ended up back in the middle with when I was ready to start filling in designs. The first one that I did here was the ribbon candy, and I think that looked really nice. I'm very pleased with that. Again, stopping after every one to think, now what am I going to do next? This one was a design that was actually in the pattern that I was using, or the design, the picture of the design I was using. And again, it's just making some little circles and then just echoing them. And we're back to some straight lines for some of these small ones. I'm not real sure what that design was. I guess it was more pebbles. Coming back down to one of these bigger areas. This time I decided to use a paisley, again a very small version of it. And this one I decided to do a checkerboard sort of design. So went one direction with my lines and then came back the opposite way. And for the final, I tried some clamshells. Now I'm going to have to concentrate on these a little bit more if I decide to actually use them in my feather. They were a little bit difficult to do, but I kind of like how they look. So I think I will use them, but I'm just really going to have to think about it a little bit more than I did in this practice. And back up at the top. Need to do a little stem here. Oh yes, I decided to add a couple of little feather ets off to each side. So there it is. I think that looks okay. Well, I did it, and I think it looks okay. I wish I had done it on this blue fabric rather than on this fabric, because that's going to make a difference. But what I'm seeing is that this would come down somewhere pretty much at the bottom. It's going to be right along in there. And I think that will work okay. I'm going to have to be really careful with my quilting and make sure I do a good job of this. But I think that that may work. But the question now is, what other feathers do I do? These are the two original ones that I had, and I could put them one on each side like this, but they're a little bit big. I could make them smaller. Actually, I have them smaller. I could do them smaller like this, but I'm just not sure that I like this with this. I also have these feathers. Again, these are pictures that I found online that I could put in here like that. And I kind of think that maybe is what I'm going to go with. Let me see here. Pin those on. We'll just see. Again, I just have to decide whether I want to do this feather or not, and then we'll just go from there. Well, since I really am still not sure what I want to do, I think I'm just going to hit the machine and quilt this side. I know what I'm doing on that side, and hopefully by the time I get through, I will have some clarity about where to head with the feathers. So guys, as always, thanks for joining me today, and I look forward to seeing you next time on Frances Quilts. Remember, if you like what you've seen, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe. Please check out my website and daily blog at francesquilts.com, and I can be found on Facebook and Instagram at Frances Quilts. Thanks so much for joining me. Hope to see you again soon.